Good afternoon, everyone. Orlando Haynes here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, you are tuning in to the Career Success Interview Series. Let me introduce who I have coming up, and you've already seen the postings and everything like that. But let me talk about this individual who is an absolute rock star. It is Miss Christy Rutherford. She's been interviewed and featured in Forbes 3 times. A Harvard Business School alum, a certified executive leadership coach from Georgetown University, the 13th African American woman to achieve the rank of commander in the U.S. Coast Guard. And this is over the course of its history of 225 years. So it was highly unlikely. The probability of her reaching that level was highly unlikely, but she did it. It was like a 0.8 or 0.6% chance that it was achievable by her, but she did it. She's not only a published author, not only a best-selling author on Amazon, but she has done so with 5 individual books within a time frame of 8 months. Insane. We were having some off-site conversations prior to today, and I don't know if y'all ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready for this, but we're going to bring Miss Christy in, and she's going to drop them diamonds. So here we go, folks, and enjoy. Let's get it going. Hello, Christy.
Hello, Orlando.
How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
So let me apologize to everyone. We were just talking about my lighting's a little crazy today, but it doesn't matter. It's not about me. It's about this wonderful woman right here who's shining right there. Before we get started, can you let everyone know where you are and where you've been for a couple of weeks?
I'm in the Bahamas, so I've been here since March 9th.
And why is that? Is that due to the COVID, or you just hanging out?
See, what had happened was I came to go. So let me back up a little bit. One, let me clean up the Coast Guard thing, because military people are very we like it to be right, you know.
Okay. Yep.
So my demographic was 0.1%. So when you were calculating that chance, I was like, is that something you calculate on the outside? So no, my demographic, it was 50 Black female officers out of 47,000 people. But when you gave that stat, you know, I know some Coast Guard people like this. Where'd you get that from? So I just want to put that up. But no, I came to the Bahamas on March 9th, but in January. So, you know, my new, and it's not a new mantra. It just took forever, Orlando, to explain who I am and what I do, right? Mm-hmm. The vision finder. So in January, I was like, you know what, Chris, you work too much. You need to take more time off. You need to have more fun. You know, entrepreneurs who work nonstop. And so I said, I'm going to spend the first week of every quarter on the beach. And it's clear as day. As clear as day, my inner being said, no, you're going to spend a quarter on the beach. So I was like this, okay. So I came down to the Bahamas on March 9th with the intent of being here for 2 weeks. And I guess it's been a little bit over a quarter. But I'm actually going to spend the rest of the year on the beach. So that's pretty much what's going to happen.
Awesome. Okay, so you made a post sharing this, so I love it. We're going to get into how to get promoted during this time, basically. So I'm just going to open the floor. I hope people are ready. Chime in with questions. We'll pop them up. I'll field some questions to you as we go along. But let's talk about that. How do we get promoted during this time? It is insane out there in the market.
2 things. Oh, that's what you were sharing. You were sharing the podcast. I was like, why do I hear myself? So this is what I know for sure about women. Not necessarily. I'm not sure if it's with men. Most women are underpaid and undervalued anyway. So there was a 68% talent gap before the coronavirus crisis, before everything started to pop off. So 68% of CEOs were looking for top talent and couldn't find them. So I always say, I've been saying it for the past year, the leadership gap and the talent gap are women who are sitting in their offices underpaid, undervalued, and overqualified. So how people get promoted? Go out and get the value that you're valued at right now. I've talked to women who are making $55,000. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you have a master's degree, you're making $55,000 a year. So if you're making 55 based on your credentials and your experience, but your value is 225, close that gap. Some people are making 55, their value is 85. Some people are making 60, their value is 125. So the goal is to learn how to close the gap in the value that you are right now. That's how you get promoted. And getting promoted is really about owning who you are, being able to articulate what you bring to the table, and then finding an organization that's willing to pay you to bring your value to them so you can make their value go up.
So that's a great point. So how, it's always the how, right? Always, we can all definitely drop a huge comment and nugget, but people are going to always want to say how, because right. So your first thought is, how do we go from 60 to 125? Like your brain don't comprehend that.
Yeah.
It's 40+% increase. You're like, oh, what are we talking about here? And you start to fear that you don't have the value. So how do we start to uncover, peel back the onion to see if we're even at that level based on our credentials, our work experience? What does that look like?
I would say, one, you can get on Glassdoor and see what are the requirements for the job that you want. A lot of women are underselling themselves already. If you have a master's degree, you have an MBA, and you're making $60,000 a year, come on, right? Come on, cut it out, right? But you can look at jobs. What a lot of women do is they play it safe. They'll think that they need the 10 boxes checked before they apply for a job. But men see if 2 boxes are checked, they're going to go for the 2. So the how is, I did 2 podcasts, and they're on my website. I think it's visionfinder.com/superpower. If you find your superpower, Orlando, oh Lord, y'all hold on. Oh Lord, hold on. See, this is how I do nothing live. Hey, let me come back.
We live, so don't worry about it, folks. But definitely add your questions. Chime in, let us know where you're from, and we're back. There you go, Christy. We're all good.
So find your superpower. So you do certain things in your organization. You do certain things that makes you unique. This is your unique selling proposition. So I have somebody that I'm working with right now she does marketing, but she's not being paid her value, which she's clear on right now. But not she's doing 10 things outside of her job description. But what she doesn't know is those 10 things she can now monetize into her existing skills. She knows how to articulate who she is. So write down your top 10 things that you've done in the past, I would say 2 years, or the top 20 things that you've done in the past 5 years. In your career, what are the top bad accessory things that you've done in your career? If you got an award, if you got an Apex award, or if you got a top leadership award, why did you get the award? A lot of times I've seen people put that on their resume, but they're not given the demonstrated action of what they did. So if you can demonstrate, I ended up saving a company 90% of the time, which was 10,000 man hours, 10,000 salaried man hours, and then allowed a VC-backed company to cash out $2 billion in dividends. That's a demonstrated action. I led a global team of 12 people on an $800 million turbine project, and I saved the company $191 million. I took the initiative and went through $700,000 worth of bills that were lost, and then I reestablished a relationship with the customer, and I recouped $191,000. Like, these are things that I've helped some of my clients do, but they'll just say, worked on a turbine project and it was great. But you don't say you led a team of 12, $800 million. You need to quantify the things that you've done.
Right. Good. Yep. That's awesome. So you're saying give as much detail as possible, what you just said, quantify it. And if it's large scale, you definitely want to brag about that both on resume and LinkedIn profile. So how do we get over the fear, though, still of, because we had some offline conversations. You were saying that there are some folks who are I think you were targeting women that said, I hope I get recognized for what I did. And I hope the promotion starts to come. I hope I get a raise versus I'm tracking my data. I'm tracking my value. And I'm going to ask and push forward and demand because of what I brought to the table. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, you have women who are working themselves to death to be seen, taking on extra projects, overworking themselves, working 2 to 3 times harder than the people around them, but they never ask. They just assume, do you see me? Do you see me? Yeah, they see you. You're not giving them a reason to give you a raise or a promotion. You go get a master's degree without saying, hey, does it take a master's degree to get to the next level? So now you got more than a thermometer. You never even saw what the qualifications were. So you're checking your own boxes. They have a checklist and you over here checking these boxes, wondering why you're not getting here. Because there are boxes that they are checking. Relationships, mentors, sponsors. You over here working 3 times as hard. Get my fingers in the camera. 3 times as hard, getting degrees, working yourself to death, taking on all these extra projects, relationships, sponsors, mentors. So they're doing the relationships, they're playing basketball, they're playing golf, they're going out, they're doing the happy hour. They are on the phone right now building relationships. And you're on the phone complaining with your friend that you're not getting more money. So I've had clients where I'm like, who are the 3 people that everybody's at home. Who are the 3 people that you want to build relationships right now? Because they're at home too. Everybody's not so busy. Successful people love it when you call and ask them questions. Successful people love to see hungry people, but you're exhausted. You're tired. You're bitter because you're not being recognized. They see you, but you never ask. You just say, one day they're going to see me. They see you. When are you going to ask? And when are you going to quantify and qualify? Last year, I was the top performer last year. I was in the top 3% of the company. My team generated $20 million in revenue. My team increased our portfolio by 40%. I would like to get, $15,000, or I want 15%, or I want whatever, right? They're not even asking. They just demonstrate it and be like, you saw that? Yeah, we saw it. Thank you. They're asking, Orlando, and they're getting it. And a lot of women are bitter. And I'll say this, and I'll let you answer this question. But one of my clients I work with, she was with this organization for 20 years. This guy came in the first year, made money to her, right? But once we started to peel back the layers of her onion and how she really felt about herself and her value, she was real bitter. She said, Chris, you know what? I'm not even mad anymore. You know why? Because I never asked. A dude has 1 year experience, making more money than her in her 20 years. She said, I never asked. So she can't, what she learned was she had to stop blaming them and look in the mirror. She said, I'm not mad, but it won't happen again. Now she's getting paid the money that she deserves.
So I have a question from the audience. Here we go. I'm gonna throw that up there. But first, let me make this quick statement. So you're saying it's not only about getting in the game, but it's knowing the game we play. Because you said they're looking at relationships and all these things, but we're over here. We in the wrong field. We're in the same stadium, but we're potentially on the wrong field or wrong side because we're not paying attention. We're not asking questions. Got it.
I ain't had my coffee in a couple of days, but I had to.
Here's a question that just came up real quick for you. Who are the 3 people with whom you need to build relationships? Because you are home and you say so are they. So she's asking, or one of the LinkedIn users, who are those people, I guess, within the organization should we be building those relationships with? Okay.
One person who's 2 levels above you, right? You can ask them. I had a conversation with my client on Monday about this. Have a conversation with people who are 2 levels above you, because they can at least teach you how to get to the next level, right? So, hey, do you mind if we get on the phone? I want to talk about my next level of success. And they don't have to be your boss. They don't have to be in your, we talk about a hierarchy in the organizational chain. People love giving advice. Who are the people that you've passed? And I say this, Orlando, a lot of women have had people say, hey, give me a call. They never do it. hey, if you need a mentor, call me. They never do it. They think people are playing, and they are extending the olive branch. The men are taking it, and they're getting paid, and women are like this. They don't mean that. They're just trying to be nice because I'm a woman. They don't really want to talk to me. So one is a person that's 2 levels above you. 2 is a person who's in your industry that is 2 to 3 levels above you, because now you need to build that industry reputation. Don't only have people who know you in the organization, you should have people outside of your organization who know you. So if it goes sideways, people are always on the hunt for top talent, point blank, period. So 1 or 2 people in your organization, and if you can get 2 to 3 people outside of your organization and in your industry, that's where you strike gold.
Wow. So that's key, because and I want you, if you can drill down on that second point. So 2 people or 2 levels, skip level manager above you in the organization, but then 2 to 3 levels just in the industry.
Yeah.
So what are the differences in the conversations you would have with those folks there? What does that look like?
So you have mentors and you have sponsors. I had 13 mentors in the Coast Guard. I was mentoring 70 or 90 people. I lost count after 70, but I mentored a lot of people, but I had 13 people. I'm always trying to change the word. I got 5 coaches right now. Let's be clear. I'm always trying to, how much information and data can I use to be successful? But I had 13 mentors. And so you want somebody who's above you, because most people, you're only taking advice from the people on your level. They can't teach you how to get above because they haven't done that already. They can't teach you the game. And look, that's what I was going to say, Orlando. Most women deplore the game. They don't want to play the game. I don't want to play it. I hate it. I don't want to play politics. I hate office politics. Don't talk about you hate playing office politics and you're still on the bottom. It's like you can't move up unless you're used to play the game. The game is being played. Either you playing the game or you being played, period. Because the game is being played. Women are out there playing checkers and shoots and ladders, while the men are playing chess and getting it. So you can't complain that you're not moving up. If you hate the game, you deplore the game, and you refuse to play the game, you're gonna stay where you are. So back to what I was talking about. So the people who are at this level are able to play, they're able to see where you are right now, and they can tell you how to get out of this situation because we've seen it already. I had a mentor a mentee that I haven't been in an organization in 8 years. People still call me, but she was in a sticky situation. So I was like this, okay, cool. This is easy. So tell her, right? The lady marked her negatively. I said, tell her that my mentors and I are concerned. The lady's like, what? Wait, you mean somebody's watching me? Because people are as long as it's in a box. So when she said, my mentors and I are concerned, and then the lady was like, wait, what? You got mentors? Yes. Well, who are your mentors? So-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. All the women, all the people were above this lady. So she was like this. Changed it, right? Boom, just like that. So when you have somebody who's above you, they have a different level of strategy, and they play the game at a different level to get to where they are. So you want to get their insight. Now the people outside of the organization is this is like your break in case of emergency glass. So if it goes sideways, you have already built an established reputation. So you not only have your organizational insight, but you need the industry insight as well. And so if it goes sideways, you call your person that you've been talking to, they know you, they like you, they trust you. They'll say, hey, because people at the top talk to other people at the top. You know what? Jeff has an opening over there for CPO. We call Jeff and I'll put you in.
So it's true. And this is confirmation that the higher you go, the different level or the different type of conversation, the language changes as you achieve higher ranks.
Yeah.
My God.
Yes. And people at the top talk to people these are their peers, right? Like as you go up, your peers become industry related. So when I left the Coast Guard, I just by default had all these things. I'm a workaholic, let's be clear. And I'm a high achiever, let's be clear. So, but by default, I was doing other things. And so my mentors were like, Christy, you have to build a service reputation. So people need to see you. So I was showing up at conferences. I was, I had a high profile. So when I left, The first week after I left, I ended up going to DC. People like this, you did what? You resigned. You need a job? I got offered 4 jobs in the first week I got out. I got offered 10 jobs in the first 2 months that I got out. People were just emailing me jobs like this, apply, come work for me, because I had a reputation. 10 jobs in 2 months, and they were all 6-figure jobs. I was psychologically unemployable. I was like, nah, I can't work for y'all right now. But then but those were the industry people. And look, Orlando, I didn't even announce to the oil and gas industry that I got out. Had I let all these other oil executives know that I got, because I knew them, they knew me. People offer me jobs all the time. And I'll say this and I'll let you ask me the next question, or we'll ask another question. So people offer me jobs all the time, but because I was so committed, I just had this conversation with my client on Sunday night. I was so committed to the organization. I was so committed to where I was that people would make comments, because men make side comments. They'd be like this, you're a lifer, huh? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm hard for the guard. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna do 10 years. Or they'll be like this, hey Christy, how long do you have left? Oh, I have 10 years. They were asking a soft question. If I'd have been like this, I'm getting out. You need a job? And then one guy said, you know what, Chris, you just need to come be on my team. And I was like, he doesn't mean that. That man was offering me a job at a national level because he knew me and he knew my work. But because I was so battered and bruised and beat up and devalued and working 80 hours a week, and I'm stressed out, and I didn't see my greatness, and I didn't know my value. Everybody can see my value. And I was like, oh no, they don't mean that. So the same thing with my client from the other day. People have been having conversations with her. We had this conversation. She was like this, you know what? Somebody said, why don't you just come work for me? Then she started to remember all the conversations that she's been having with people. People have been having conversations and been wanting her to come work for them. But because her head is down, she's not even hearing those conversations.
So you had a point in your time in your career where you were devaluing yourself, but there were folks that were seeing your value in your work ethic, and they were like, but Christy, you can. And you were like, Well,
I was being devalued by my bosses.
Oh, okay.
I'm being treated like SHIT by them, and I'm being harassed, and I'm being ostracized, and they screaming in my face for stuff that's not my job. I work for some of the smallest minded people. We ain't gonna go sideways on that. Yeah. But no, so I'm being harassed, and I'm working 3 times as hard. I was one of 50 Black women out of 47,000 people, 50 Black female officers. So when I walk in the room, I'm 0.1%. So I got to deal with that stuff. I got to deal with the stuff out here in these streets. I'm working 80 hours a week to prove that I belong, and I'm a high achiever, and I'm managing my team. And now I'm being treated like SHIT by my boss. I'm on fire. Right. So if somebody says, Christy, if through life and through, I created it. Does that make sense? But had I known my value, Orlando, and had I not been willing to put up with a normalized hostile work environment, I was accustomed to fighting. I will fight you. Do you hear me? I will prove you wrong. Say I can't do something. I will fight you. I will work 80 hours a week. I will work on the weekends. I will prove you wrong. And then I will have you eat dirt with your words, but they don't care because they going home. They working their 40 hours and they're going home and they're free. And here I am on fire and I'm crazy trying to prove them wrong. So once I started to, and it took a long time for me to figure it out. At 16 years, when I started to see that, I said, I quit. This is crazy. I did it. But because I was so accustomed to fighting, I had Fight Club energy. I didn't know that. I didn't have to fight. This is crazy. Why am I fighting you to do my job? And I thought that if I fought you in my 20s, that you would see my value. So 2 things happened. I thought if I fought you in my 20s, that you would see my value, right? Because I'm decorated. When I walk in the room, people get angry, dude. I'm like, because in the military, we wear resumes on our shirt. When I walk in the room, you already know I'm it. But at the same time, because of that, I lost the ability to be able to devalue myself because I'm playing the psychological mind games. I'm doing all, I'm mentoring, I'm giving away everything, and now my cup is empty. So what's the point of being shiny and having, my I love me walls, right? Because I had awards that just adorned everything that was around me, and I got all these degrees. if I feel like I'm really down here, so that's the gap, right? That's the gap in once we've been treated like crap and we stay and we don't leave because we're loyal and because now we can't leave because that check is real delicious. And so I'm just gonna tolerate and then I'm gonna manage and then I'm gonna, and then we're down here and then our value is here. That's the reason why women don't see their value is because we are stuck. And right now in these Rona streets, people are so uncertain that they're willing to hold on to a job that they are drowning in and that they're dying in and that is burning them up and incinerating them for fear of leaving because they don't see themselves here. They see themselves here. And so they'll take a job where they're overqualified. They'll apply for the lowest job on the totem pole because it's safe and then get mad that they're better than their bosses and they be screaming, I'm better than my boss. You apply for that raggedy job. You deserve it.
So to that, because you dropped the jewel a couple of moments back, you said you became psychologically unemployable. Is that the correct term? Talk about that, because that's in itself that's powerful. In itself, that's powerful in the statement alone. So dive deep into that a little bit.
I see all these women because when you stay too long, when you endure, I was talking to this lady one time. This is funny. And I call people out, Orlando. I call them because I know what burnout looks like. I know what it sounds like. I know what it smells like. I can see it in your face. I know what a woman who is going through it and is on fire. I know what it looks like because I looked at her every day. And so I'm on the phone with this lady. She was like, I endure, right? Because she's the global head of blah, blah, blah. And I was like, girl, you crazy. Like something wrong with you. Right? And crazy is all relative, like you are right. You're on the road to burnout, and we're so wound tight because we can't. They are waiting for us to do something wrong. You hear me? When you're at the top like that, the ice is thin, the air is choking you out. We thought that this position would bring us freedom. We thought that this position would bring us joy. That position is choking you out because now they are waiting. Say something wrong in a meeting. It's over. And we're so paranoid that we're going to lose the job. And we are being suffocated. And we are suffocating in our high success, in our Manolos, and our Jimmy Choos. And, we in Paris, partying for the new year. And we're doing all these things. And so we're very careful in our language because I endure. And I'm like this. Yeah, that means that you're being treated like crap and you're not going to do nothing about it. That's what that means. Okay. So I keep forgetting we're on live. I got to bring it back. I got to be professional.
Nope.
I want my clothes and I'm thinking right now.
Go for it.
Yeah, psychologically unemployable. I stayed in a normalized hostile work environment too long. I endured too long. I put up with being treated like crap too long. I put up with psychological mind games too long. I had a high pain tolerance. Women who are successful have a very high pain tolerance. And this is at work. We need to step outside of work right now. This is at work. So by the time we throw up the white flag, we are almost dead. Do you hear me? By the time we feel the burn, Orlando, we are already at 3rd-degree burns because we are used to and accustomed to being in pain. I got 1,000 knives in my back. Somebody would stab me in the back and I'd be like this, did you say something? Right? And they're like, I just chucked the spear in your back. Hold on. Let me take 3 of them out the way. Stick me right here. I can still feel that nerve right here. Numb, right? So we're walking around numb in our high positions. And by the time we feel the pain, we're already almost out of here. By the time we verbalize that we're in pain, we're at 95% in our graves. Let's be clear. So when I left and I resigned, I was so far gone mentally, right? People always talk about mental health. Oh, we should destigmatize mental health. I'm like this, show me your crazy, I'll show you mine. Don't tell me that I'm gonna be okay unless you're willing to tell me that you're not okay, because we're all not okay. But I could not work for anybody because I stayed too long. I endured too long. I put up with stuff too long that by the time I left, I could not psychologically be in an office and feel like I was in a cage. I did not take care of mental health. I did not take care of my physical health. I had 17 medical conditions when I left the Coast Guard. I had mentally, I was a wreck. I was selling coffee, talking about I'm gonna be rich in 2 months. I work with a network marketing company, and after a year and a half, I was offered, by this point, I was offered 20 jobs in the first 2 years. I used to keep job offers for entertainment purposes. And but after a year and a half, I stopped and I said, Christy, something's wrong with you. You need to fix it. And so I moved in with my brother because I've been offered all these jobs. Now I'm out of money, Orlando. I ain't got no money. But I got offered all these jobs. But I didn't need a job because I wasn't healthy. I didn't need a job because my brain was still so wound, like so tight, and I was exhausted. And so I moved in with my brother, and I thought that, because of my success and, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner, I'll be rich in 2 months. 3.5 years later, now of me in self-isolation for 3.5 years, now unraveling what life did to me, and now reconciling the books on what I allowed and how I played a part in my burnout and how I played a part in, allowing people to talk to me sideways. And I used to cuss them out at first, and then as I got more senior, I could be cussing folk out as much, cussing out my boss, but and how I stayed somewhere where I was tolerated too long. That was me. And so I urge women, and how I get a lot of fast results with my clients is I just unravel and stop them from pointing the finger right there and do this right here. And once you can own who you are and why you are and where you are, only then can you change. But so many women, it's so easy to say, my boss is the problem, and not look at yourself and say, no, you put up with that ish too long. You should leave your boss and own your value.
Wow. So, wow. I mean, we can stop right there, but we're gonna keep going. So once you've hit that spot, and I'm sure if there are a lot of men and women that are watching, right, please throw up some likes and stuff, that your confirmation that what Christy is saying resonates with you. But at what point, where was the trigger where you were in that space of psychologically unemployable, and you were like, I am not going back to that. That is not my space no more. That is not my world, my life, my future. Here's where I've been appointed and anointed to go. When did that switch, and what did those steps look like? So it's a 2-part question. At what point, and then what were the steps that you took to come out of that?
You mean at the bottom point of my burnout, or before I burned out? Where you at? Because I incinerated like the phoenix that creates the nest to burn herself up. So is this before I entered the fire, or when I was ashes? What are we talking about?
Well, since you have two, you tell us when was that click for you? What point?
I think I left. I resigned for 100 reasons, right? Like, it wasn't, everybody thought that it was my boss that ran me away, but really I was just tired, because I resigned with 3.5 years left to retire with a full pension. I would have retired in 2016 with a check. I would have been getting my check. I couldn't make it to the end of the race. So for me to make the decision to leave was, I had to make the decision to save my own life, because I was physically dying, and I had 17 medical conditions. I had arthritis. I had blinding headaches. I felt like somebody was squeezing the sides of my head, like with tension, every single day. My ears were ringing. I was in the hospital every 2 weeks for flu-like symptoms. My stomach hurt. I mean, on and on and on and on and on. And so my boss, ladies and gentlemen, only exacerbated my forest that was already on fire. I was already on fire before he started harassing me. I was already on fire before he even showed up. He just threw lighter fluid on what I was already not managing, was my health and how I felt about myself and my childhood dysfunctions and how I felt about my family and how I'm so busy. And this is the thing about being in self-isolation, is I was too busy to slow down to manage that. I was so busy chasing the next thing that they said I couldn't have to be able to pick up the pieces, right? So it's almost like if I'm like a brick wall that's running, all the pieces are breaking off behind me. And by the time I get to the end of the race, if I had 100 bricks, I got like one left. And I'm like, let me touch this, right? So I was too busy focused on what they say I couldn't have and who they say I couldn't be. And I was too busy proving people wrong and not investing that time to, and that was professionally, and not investing that time, money, and energy into personal development and my soul. And what does John Gray say? He say, so many people are so busy chasing the illusion of success that they miss the decay in their spirit. So we're so busy chasing the illusion of success that we miss the decay in our spirit. So I was empty like a chocolate Easter bunny. You would have bit my ears off. There was nothing on the inside, but on the outside, the wrapper was shiny and it was gold. So that's the thing, is that we're chasing all these external things and we don't take that same time and energy from the inside. So that was the reason why I left. That was burnout number one. It was three phases to that burnout, but that was burnout number one.
And there may be a lot of people in those stages. So recognize stage 2 and 3. Let's bring those to the table.
I think so that's stage 1. That's where I meet a lot of people, right? Like I told somebody last week, and she chose to do nothing. And I'm like, this is not going to end well for you, right? Because we think that that's the pinnacle, Orlando. Oh no. That's your body warning you that it's about to be on and popping. If you don't do something now, I can catch you right here and bring you up. But there are different levels. I didn't know how far I could burn and almost die. So there are different levels to this thing. So level 2 was I'm out now. I'm free. I had money. I saved about $100,000. So I'm free and I'm happy. And the thing about it was I hung around these network marketing people, and they're all highly personally developed people, right? So they're all happy. I was miserable and dark. They were all happy, but I'm still chasing money because I got to replace this $130,000 salary. So now I'm still chasing money, but I wasn't fixing my mind. So one of the things that I've said during this pandemic is, don't chase the money, get your mind right. Because if you can get your mind right, you can get the money. But if you chase the money and lose your mind, you're gonna lose it all. So that was the biggest problem, was I was still chasing money and I wasn't fixing this. I wasn't fixing my health. And so I didn't lose my money. I was blowing it because I'm an entrepreneur with money. I looked at something this morning that popped up on Facebook, like a memory from 6 years ago. I blew $8,000 on the conference. I was like, you know what you were doing. I didn't have a color because I know everything. I'm the Christy Rutherford. I'm gonna have this conference and it's gonna be great. $8,000 gone, right? So I think that's the second part, is still running for the money, still chasing the things and not stopping to say something's wrong with you. I don't recognize you anymore in the mirror. I don't really like you. You cool though, but you still got some stuff. You got to unpack the junk that's in your trunk. You still dragging around, things that people did to you 10 years ago, 15 years ago. When are you going to let that stuff go and be free? So that's phase 2. You got to offload some of the baggage. So I did a group coaching program, and I was talking about how, this was a keynote last week, how if people remember, why did Aaliyah's plane crash in 2001? Do you remember? Remember the scene of Aaliyah?
Yeah, I remember her. I just don't remember the cause, if it was the pilot, but yeah, go ahead.
They had too much luggage on that plane. It couldn't get off.
That's right.
They fought. Everybody needed their luggage. No. Right? Like you got big people getting on the plane, and then you got tiny Aaliyah getting on the plane, but they all fought for their luggage. And the pilot was like, "It's too heavy. We're not going to get off the ground." But they were like, "No, we need it all." And that caused the plane crash. So another way that women can get to the next level, you got to let some stuff go. We hold on to stuff because they did us wrong and they did us dirty. And yes, it's true. My boss has treated me like crap, but it's also true that I allowed them to do it. Had I known my value, I would have chucked the deuces, or had I been listening to those men who were offering me jobs, right? Had I been cued into what my real value was, I'd have been like, deuces, I'm not going to put up with this mess. You don't treat me like that. You know who you're talking to right now, right? But because I was accustomed to being treated like crap, or if I was accustomed to being tolerated from a very long time, y'all only strengthening what I've been, what I'm accustomed to already. So that was stage 2. So it was admitting to, me moving in with my brother, and because I had enough money for my car, but I didn't have enough money for rent. I still had money there. It was me admitting that money is not what I seek. I don't know what I'm looking for right now. I know that the person that I am now, I could see her in my vision. So I could see I could be this happy person. I just didn't know how to get it. I thought it would take 2 months, but I didn't know how much luggage I had been dragging around. I didn't know how much baggage I had been dragging around. I didn't know how much harm was done to my spirit by allowing people to treat me like crap and me not managing it. I didn't know that, even like the stuff that's going on right now, a lot of the racial tension is really just throwing lighter fluid on what people have not managed, like the greater outrage to it. They're just lighting the baggage that you got. So if I got one luggage and it's on fire, if you got 100 bags and they catch on fire, the amount of your rage and the output of your experience and all your reactions to it, how many bags did they light on fire with this one?
Yeah, that's a good point. Wow. That's a whole nother live we can get into.
Write that down. I'm sitting this place, I gotta write that
down. So let's get into instead. I'm gonna skip over point 3 because I want to start talking about your trajectory coming out. Where did you recognize that first? What was it, a mentor or a coach? Walk us through those steps to where you're like, all right, I got to get out of this. My destiny is X.
I mean, I always knew my destiny. I just didn't. I knew, and this is nothing. Like people are like, oh, you're great. I'm like, man, this ain't 3% of what I've seen. This is nothing. And I'm great right now, but this is nothing compared to what I've seen. So I stopped asking, what should I do to the higher being? What should I do? And I started asking, who do I need to become? Not what should I do? This is how I wrote 5 books in 8 months. I was in my brother's house. Don't nobody know that, right? Like, hey, if I write this book, you're gonna let me loose? You're gonna let me loose, right? I feel like I'm trapped. I was there for 3.5. I was in isolation for 3.5 years. Do you understand me? So if I write this book, you're gonna turn me loose? If I write this book, so once I healed fully, the books came after the healing. Does that make sense? But it wasn't what do I need to do, is who do I need to become to now manage what I see and what I've asked for. So what behaviors and characteristics do I need to let go of? Joyce Meyer says a lot of people have a gift that will take them somewhere, but not enough character to keep them there when they get there. Christy Rutherford will black out on you and cuss you out. So I can't be trusted on a world stage, Orlando, if I'm black out on you and cuss you out sideways, right? Like, so I have enough character. I have the gift to be on a world platform. I have a gift to be on the stage, but do I have enough character? Yes, my character is good, but I also got a couple little flaws because you say some sideways, you're going to get it. So the thing about, getting to the next level in your career, so we'll wrap it back around that. A lot of times when I work with people, if the job right now is burying you and I mean, killing you and you're stressed out, what do you think the promotion is going to do? The promotion will kill you, right? If you're stressed out, and a lot of times people say, I'm so frustrated, I'm stressed out. They never ask for nothing, by the way. I'm working hard and they won't give me anything. I'm just going to get another job. I say, you know who won't go on a different job? You. Like the same things that you're doing in this job, not asking, working, checking the wrong box, not playing office politics, not engaging in relationships, not having a mentor, not having a sponsor. You're so fed up with this job in this office that you're going to go over here. You're taking the exact same behaviors to this job. So how do I assist people? 2 of my clients got promoted over their boss's boss. One of them in less than 3 months. It was bananas. Right? Wow. How did we do that? We got together her value. We wrote down her 10 things. We were able to qualify and quantify her achievements. And then she asked. She asked on December 10th. She got it on February 27th over her boss's boss. And at least a 35% raise. So if we can slow down and stop and change where you are and who you are, and you show up differently, you automatically have to go to the next level. Sometimes I would say a lot of times my clients don't apply. The door just kind of swings open because now you can manage what you ask for. Your spirit and your inner being is not going to cause more harm. So if you're praying and praying and praying, but you're dying, clean that up first, and then that door swing open so fast it'll make your head spin around.
Wow. I love what you said a couple of seconds ago, that folks will complain at the level they're at, and in their mind they're thinking, I'm not getting recognized, I need to get promoted, and they're frustrated at that level, but not letting it click that the higher you go, the more pressure is going to come. So if you're burning out at that mid-level management and you thinking, oh, if they only let me become a senior manager or a director and I'm getting that 130, 140, it'll be easier. I'll be happier. And it's like more money, more problems, more responsibilities, more problems, more pressure.
The politics get more fierce at that level. I mean, like, right? Like, you don't want to play politics now. I love psychological mind games and politics. I mean, they bring me great joy. But I thought that once I fought hard enough to now get to the 8 o'clock meeting, right? Like the 8 o'clock meeting was our
seat at the table somewhere.
To get together. Hey, Nightmare on Elm Street started every morning at 8 a.m. I mean, Freddy Krueger showed up in the room every day. I thought that once I fought and I finally earned my seat, that I was good. Look, the fight had just begun. I was like, so I'm shocked, right? At each level, because my mentors couldn't prepare me. My mentors were men, because women were burning out, right? So, the white men and the black men couldn't prepare me for what it was like being a black woman in the room with all white men. So I thought that once I fought, because I'll fight you, uppercut, right? We get in the room. Hey, the battle had just begun. I have to defend that seat every single day. Now they bold in your face and they say something, and I come across sideways on the table, or I just got to eat the rage, right? So because I didn't manage, myself and my health and my mental health and my physical health, when I finally got to the table, I didn't expect for the fighting to be so fierce. I mean, I had to fight every day to do my job. So I'm fighting you at the table. I got more people working for me. I went from 12 people working for me to 160. You know what I'm saying? I went from a $200 million budget to a $5 million budget. And now I got 160 people, and the culture and the people were different, and I had to fix stuff, and it's crazy. So yeah, if right now what you're doing, the next job that I got is what actually that, in addition to if the straw was already going to break the camel's back, that was the last thing, that job. And then the boss, it was too much. I ran away like Tina Turner ran from Ike in that white suit. And what's love got to do with it? I was done.
I remember that scene. So we got about 15 minutes left, and I want to make sure people are out there asking questions. If not, but because it's crucial. You said once you get to the 8 o'clock meeting, hence the table, we got a seat at the table. What, in your experience, was that look like, well, now that you're here, let's see what you can bring to the table. Like you fought your way. Now, tell me what you can do to keep the seat. It's on you, Christy. Spotlight, boom. What they looking like?
Yeah, prove yourself every day. And now the intent is everybody has their stakes in the ground. Now we got to, let me say, all my life I had to fight. I got to fight all day, baby. But it was, now we're expected to work together, but now they're not willing to work together. So now we're doing this. Does that make sense? Like everything had to come through force. Nothing was coming through. I would say, well, one guy in particular became my arch nemesis, but my other guy we didn't have to work together, but we were peers, we were cool. But everything else, everything became a clash. Everything became a battle. Everything became a fight. And it was, I'm getting tired just talking about it. It was exhausting, and so for a person who, now I'm in this next job, I came in with the same bad habits. Actually, I would say that the habits were just a little bit different, but no, maybe they weren't, because on Friday night, 11 o'clock at night, I'm at my desk working. I plan a happy hour with my friends in Houston. I'm an hour away from Houston, and I'm gonna meet y'all. And then somebody called their senator on me, and I'm at work on Friday night at 11 o'clock at night, working hard, saying I hate my life right now. This is madness. So I think if I have to wrap it all up, Orlando, it's will you give yourself permission to live a good life? Will you give yourself permission to be as weirdly happy as Christy is right now? Will you give yourself permission to have freedom? And a lot of times women think that, well, in order for me to be free, and in order for me to do less, and in order for me to be able to be a mom to my kids and be a good wife to my husband, I gotta make less money. That's a lie. Why would you? This is crazy. Why would you go get less money when you have more value? This is crazy. What are you talking about? Go get your money and create a life of peace. Don't leave it to somebody else. We're leaving it to organizations to create peace for us. We're leaving it to organizations to open doors for us. We're leaving it to everybody else. I just put you in the driver's seat of my car and wondering why I keep ending up in a ditch. No. You get in your driver's seat of your car and you say, you know what? I'm going to work out every day. I worked out this morning. It was great. I'm on a detox right now. I ain't had no coffee. I don't know how I feel about that. I wake up sad, but then I gotta work out to be great. But if I create the circumstances for my life, I create the circumstances for my life. I am the captain of my fate, the master of my soul. You're not the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. Now you can't manipulate me in my feelings. You can't manipulate me by saying you're going to fire me. So, my value. You know what, Frank? I don't like you anyway. I'm about to go out here and give you another job and go somewhere else. But because we're accustomed to enduring, we'll allow somebody to talk down to us and then carry it around 5 years later like a brand that's on your freaking arm saying, somebody talked to me sideways, and then I lost all the confidence, and now I'm sitting up in these interviews, and I don't really do well in interviews because somebody treated me like crap. Well, come on, cut it out.
Oh my God. You must have a crystal ball into some of the things I hear and see. That's crazy. That is crazy. So you said where you at right now is good. And we know you said you had 5 coaches and all that. So
another one last night.
Good Lord. I'm such an underachiever compared to what you're talking about. I got it. Oh Lord. So talk to us about where you are now. Paint that picture of what it looks like. And again, everybody's, space is different. But once you've made that click, you started to partner with folks, recognizing your value, controlling your own destiny and value. It's put you in the place of what? Where is Christy now based on what she's gone through? Yeah.
I needed all of it, right? So Oprah says true forgiveness is knowing that the past couldn't have been any different. When I talk about my career, I had an amazing time. I met some of the world's greatest people. I have friends, lifelong friends now that I wouldn't have met, had I not joined the organization. But the problem is, just because I'm trying to live in the good, that doesn't mean I was slowly corroding in the bad. Does that make sense? Because the pain and the bad people leave a deeper wound for that. But what I've learned is I needed it all. I needed to burn out. I needed to lose my mind and my physical health, and then go down to level 3 and completely incinerate and boom, pop in the dust, and then lay on the ground. I slept for a year after I left, and lay on the ground and say, this was so dumb. This was so preventable. But once I got back up, Orlando, and once I put myself together again, like Humpty Dumpty, right? Now I know the pieces. Now I know how to put the pieces together. And now I know when I talk to people, I can tell you like this, you about to die. Because I did it, right? You think you hit the bottom? Girl, that ain't nothing. You got 2 more levels down. Let's work together so you don't fall apart. But because I piece together my life and what I did wrong, what I've learned is a lot of high achieving women around the world. I got clients around the world. We do the exact same things to be successful. And we also do a lot of same things. We have a lot of unspoken and uncommon and unrealized and unconscious dysfunctions. I did it. And because when I laid on the ground and I put myself together again, Now I can be like, okay, let's do this. We're going to tweak it over here. We're going to tweak it over here. Boom, let's go be free. So where I'm at right now is, I'm in a place of forgiveness. I'm in a place of, I'm not going to allow you to cast your burdens on me. You got to go cast those burdens somewhere else. I don't care if you don't like me or not.
Amen.
You like me, which is a miracle, right? So another thing is, we do things and we say things and we adjust our power and our energy to make people like us, and they don't like themselves. Now, I don't like myself trying to make you like me. I'm okay with you not liking me. I'm not going to tone down my energy. I'm not going to, polish myself up a little bit. I'm not going to do certain things to make you like me because I like me. So standing in a place of complete authenticity to say, I love myself. I'm in love with my weirdy, unicorn riding, purple horseshoes, blue diamonds, pink hearts, all these things. But I serve now from a place of my greatest pain and my darkness. And I didn't want to tell my story, Orlando, because winners never, ever, 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 ever want to confess to the brokenness of who we were. But as time evolved, my money was real funny until, and I started working with a coach. My first coach, he was like, Chris, you got to tell your story. I was like, listen, I ain't trying to do that. Let's go make this money over here and do something else. But the more I've embraced my journey and know that I can save other people and I can assist other people and I can heal other people, and now being able to share it freely, we can laugh about some of the things that happen, is very freeing, and is also very, money for me is a byproduct of service. I tell people, I don't do what I do for money. I do what I love it, but I have to place a value on my time. I would say that's the hardest thing that I learned through my second coach was I wasn't properly valuing myself, because I love what I do. I love, like you could tell, I'm amped, right? Without my coffee, I'm amped because this is what I do. But we have to be willing to put a premium value on our time that we offer if we are giving a service to other people. And that's another thing that entrepreneurs don't do is we don't price ourselves properly because, we're going for the mini, or we don't want to seem like we're too much, or we don't want to seem like we braggadocious and be like, this is my time. This is my value. If you're going to get a 40% raise, you think like Earl Nightingale says, we want to, get the fire without putting the wood in. You got to put the wood in before you can expect heat.
That's good.
I'm good. I'm free. I'm in the Bahamas. I'll be here to the end of the year or next year or whenever, and then we're gonna see where I go from there. So, but okay. I want people to understand that you have so much untapped value in you. You need. That's why I have 5 coaches, because I have so much in me. Like, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Right? Like, so all I'm doing is having them pull value out of me. So now I can start to go, I forgot I had that gift. I'm about to put a price tag on this, and I'm going to serve, but I'm going to earn my value as well. So that's what coaching is for me. What do you see in me?
You're asking me?
No.
Oh, you just saying put it out there, okay? Yeah, I was like, okay. Well, yeah, you said it. I mean, your gift will make room for you, absolutely. So we're coming to a close. And there are questions that are popping up, but too many. So what I would ask, if possible, I'll tag you to those after we finish the broadcast. And if you can chime in and answer those folks through LinkedIn, that'll be appreciated. But any last minute nuggets, diamonds, I said, well, we ain't got time for nuggets, for diamonds that you want to share, or tell us, where they can connect with you other than LinkedIn, find you, get with you for coaching, etc.
Yep. I have a webinar that I'm giving away for free. It's actually called How to Pivot in Your Career and Recession-Proof Your Income Without Getting Another Degree. Stop playing. You ain't got to do all that. And that's at pivotnowwithchristy.com, www.pivotnowwithchristy.com. And you can get my free webinar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can through the pivotnowwithchristy.com. Once you do that, if you want to be coached by me, you can go to speakwithchristy.com. I suggest that people watch the webinar so they can see some of my philosophies, as we just got right here. But the nugget is, you are
Diamond, the diamond, the diamond.
I'm sorry. The diamond is
We got time for nuggets.
that there is so much more value in you that you have unrealized, right? So a lot of times people, your weirdness is your greatness unrealized. The thing that makes you weird, the thing that makes you unique, the thing that you will that you were picked at for while you were growing up as a kid, the thing that you kind of covered up, that is your greatness unrealized. Dr. Miles Monroe said is everybody was born to solve a problem for our generation. So, but most people get a job and they don't do the work that they were called to do. So the thing that made you unique, like this is who I am. This is my, my childhood version self grown up without all of the shackles of life, without all the things that have happened in life. So that's your greatness unrealized. Most women are undervalued in the market by 30%, period. Period. So if you're undervalued in the market by 30%, what are you doing to now close the gap? At least 30%. What are you going to do? Who are you going to talk to? What work do you need to do on yourself? Not what degree do you need to get? What work do you need to do on yourself to now be able to see all the things that you already have and that you're carrying? You have it all, ladies. You have everything that you need to get to the next level. You have it all. Go get it.
Well, we're going to leave it right there, folks. So thank you so much, Christy. Absolute love what you shared. I hope everyone is getting value. Connect. If I don't want to flood your LinkedIn, but please connect with this woman.
Yeah, please connect with me. I love what I do. This is what I do. So, I really, my goal, I've said it just a few times and I told Paul Brunson, my goal is to close the gender gap by 20% in the next 20 years. It's a bold goal, but why not? Let's close this, because if every woman would own her value and go get her value, be able to articulate her value and then get paid her value, we'll close the gender gap like that. But so many times we relegated to what are the men going to give us and what is the men going to give us? You can go get it yourself. That's my goal.
Amen to that. So again, I appreciate you so much, and everybody else. Continue to tune in and follow this dynamic woman. But God bless and continue success.
Thanks, Orlando. Thanks for all you do for putting us on. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.